everyone. Today we had an over-the-air patch change, and with it came several really big changes to some old favorites. Viper is now, in my opinion, able to be played. She's playable now that she focuses on the lowest power card in a lane. Great utility, great way to send back goblins and all kinds of cool things. We also had a Lockjaw, which got changed, and several other big changes. I think the Bob change was cool. The Mockingbird change, I think, was really impactful and very much needed. But I think there are some kind of strings that could come with that being a 6-cost 10 power card as well, potentially alongside like a Scar, but only time will tell. As far as today's build, we have Lockjaw. Lockjaw can now rapid rotate more than one card a turn, similar to his old style, but he's not 3-cost anymore. He's still 4-cost, and that will make any deck that he ends up in a little bit less consistent. You don't want to rely entirely on the Lockjaw play, but we have both Thor and Beta Ray build that can be those fantastic rotation engines, giving you a couple of free cards to use. So you can either rotate several cards on turn 5 if you happen to draw into them. You can rotate those on 6 if you used Jane Foster to draw those out of your deck. And it can put a lot of really big power plays on the board. And you're typically going to be pressuring just about every single lane with those cards. Tomorrow I'm going to be showcasing a junk deck that utilizes Viper. And speaking of tomorrow morning, I'm going to be live starting at 9 a.m. running until around 4 p.m. Central Time. And so if you guys want to catch me live, definitely jump over twitch.tv/TLSG Snap. I would love to have you guys. The vibes continue from here. They are the exact same over there, except for I get to interact with you guys, which I absolutely love. And so we're going to keep the deck explanation relatively short. We're going to go ahead and jump over into a couple of games. Thank you guys, as always, for being here. I hope you guys enjoy. All right, first up we have Rodrigo Tantan. The first location is Murder World. The second one being Sanctum Sanctorum is unfortunate. We do have a Doctor Doom. It's our only little bit of like benefit here. We have Lockjaw, we have Wasp in hand, and then Clintar, also super unfortunate. All of these locations stink. My RNG has been awful this morning. Let's see if we can turn it around. Okay, unless they have a way to change Clintar, they're gonna just be eating a 4-power Thor. Interesting. All right, let's go Beta Ray Bill to the left. He's the more expensive, but the more superior of the brothers into the Lockjaw Yellow Jacket rotation. So they're going super heavy on that. Into the Beta Ray Bill is unfortunate. I did try a Yellow Jacket Lockjaw, and it didn't end up working for me. If they're running the one that runs Pixie as well, didn't do great things for me. Hopefully they'll have better luck. We can full send this rotation already. In a Stormbreaker rotation. Do we snap into it? I want to snap into it. Oh, snap. We have the Stormbreaker rotation. We have Spider Ham going in, and then the Wasp rotation. So whereas before we could only do 1 per turn, we can now send it all. We have great hits in our deck. Jubilee would be the lowest of rolls, of course. But Vision would be great because we have a way to compete for Sanctum Sanctorum. Hitting Stormbreaker a second time would be magical. Odin wouldn't be perfect, but we'll see. And so the Nocturne comes in as well. So they do have some locational control. Stormbreaker into Jeff, into Mysterio. Very interesting. Into the Hitmonkey play. Goodness, what Highroll did you hit, my friend? And so the 11 power and 12 power Hitmonkey. We do pull our 0-cost card back in with Stormbreaker, so we can no longer rotate into it. Spider Ham hits their Jane Foster, but that wasn't a huge concern. Rotates into Vision, which is a beautiful high roll. And then Wasp is going to rotate into Odin. So my only question is, why didn't... Oh, Wasp hadn't rotated in yet. All right. And so Odin is already on the board. We have the Vision play. We can do something like Doctor Doom would probably win it for us. Something like Doctor Doom, Stormbreaker, Wasp. Actually, do we want to flip into Magneto? No. We don't want to flip into Magneto. We might pull Beta Ray. We may pull Hitmonkey. We're just going to go Doctor Doom, Vision over, Stormbreaker, Wasp. That's what we're going to lock in here. And so the Nocturne, the Jeffrey, and then what do we have? What pleasure do we have here? The Fisk Tower. Ooh, hitting their Jeff is super unfortunate. We do send the Doctor Doom, which is fine. And we hit Beta Ray Bill one more time. They hit Beta Ray Bill one more time as well. So they definitely have us in the left lane. It's just a matter of if they can win the right lane somehow. Because we do have that extra power in mid. And the pig, the 9-power pig, is not going to do it. We are able to hold down the 4 cubes against the crazy high roll flip that they had with their like Mysterio and Wasp and Yellow Jacket. But my only concern with that build is it can get very RNG heavy. You don't have guaranteed good outcomes, whereas something a little bit more higher end you typically will. So we're gonna go ahead and take the 4. Let's jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Nate Biz, I think. And I'm pretty sure they swindled 4 cubes off of me earlier today when I was brewing. Let's see if we can get them let's see if we can at least get 2 of them back. And so Quake comes in right off the jump, shifting things around. They are running an Arshan build, which inherently is always a little bit higher or harder to consistently beat. Something like Viper in Shadowland would have been beautiful, but we're not running our junk deck just yet. And so in the right lane, they change it to Magic. Very interesting, which they also got from Arshan. It gives them an extra turn to do some really crazy things, but it also gives us an extra turn as well. Sanctum Sanctorum is actually okay for us. We have our Thor, Beta Ray Bill, and then we have Jane Foster to pull them in. So let's... We can potentially play a Vision early. We can potentially play Doctor Doom to put power there. And so we are going to snap into it. We have an extra turn to be able to win that Sanctum Sanctorum lane. And so we'll see. So Nick Fury comes down, a lot of high value. Just you can't tell what the potential output for Arshan can be. Way too tough to gauge. So instead, we're just going to be looking for solid value, solid consistent value. Let's play Beta Ray into mid. We have Wasp that we can throw down next turn. Leech, unfortunate. And so no Doctor Doom, but maybe we don't go Jane Foster next turn then. We get Doctor Doom now after the fact, which is fantastic. Let's go Vision so that they know how tough they have it. The Arnhem Zola is crazy. So they can play into this. Oh my gosh, they can play into the Sanctum Sanctorum. The Nick Fury, it could have hit the Nick Fury, or the Leech, but Leech could have been scary hitting Doctor Doom, I guess. My goodness. I'm almost tempted to go ahead and play our like go wide stuff, like Doctor Doom and Stormbreaker, because honestly, I'm afraid that they're going to throw Odin onto this thing to re-trigger Arnhem Zola and Nick Fury again. I'm a little bit afraid of that. So we are going to go ahead and play Stormbreaker out. That does put this within Shang-Chi range, but we also have the go wide capability of Doctor Doom, which is going to make it harder for them to win with just Shang-Chi alone. And so Quinjet comes down, Thanos comes down, and we get Jubilee, which has a 1 out of 4 chance to hit Odin. Otherwise, it's not a great pull. Victory. And we do end up forcing the retreat. The Leech was a good idea, but fortunately for us, it didn't hit those high value targets. We'll take 2. We're coming for our other 2, Nate, next time. All right, next up we have Morph. I can't morph my mouth to say those letters. I can't even fathom how it would come out. Sixen. The first location is Atlantis. We do have Lockjaw, so I almost want to hold our Spider-Ham, at least for a second. They have 14 cards left in deck, so this should be a Thanos build, right? We have Necrotia in mid. We do have our Jane Foster, so we can always do Thor into a Lockjaw setup into Jane Foster. So we'll always have a couple of rotation tools. Let's go ahead and play Spider-Ham out now. So like they throw 1 card, we hit their Thanos, so it can't be buffed up, it can't be double powered. It just should. I mean, we should have known. It always hits Thanos every single time. Let's go ahead and play Thor into Necrotia. I think Lockjaw goes into Crimson Cosmos, and then Jane Foster wherever, and then we can free rotate the 0-cost cards. So that gives us the ability to put high power over there, and we're going to be playing our low things to rotate. So we're going to be pressuring all 3 lanes pretty early and pretty consistently.
Face the might of Asgard, Mjolnir.
And So in the left lane, they end up going Hope Summers, so they can scale potentially like a blob or other really cool things. But we have Lockjaw into an immediate Mjolnir rotation. The only bad hit here would be Wasp, and then the medium roll hit would be Odin. Otherwise, fantastic hits. So we're going to go ahead and send the Lockjaw Mjolnir rotation out into the fray. They play Nocturne and Soulstone. They have 2 ways to change locations now. Potentially even like a Legion could be in the mix, but we'll see. And so Mjolnir, don't flip into Wasp, my friend. Anything but the Wasp. Okay, Odin is that medium tier. A Doctor Doom better. Beta Ray Bill would have been better. Vision would have been fine. But we do have Jane Foster now that we're going to go ahead and play into the left lane. I want to be competitive over there. We're going to pull out our Wasp and our Mjolnir, and so we could free rotate one of those cards. We have Jubilee next turn to almost guaranteed pull into, it'll be a 50-50 what it pulls into. And so their Lockjaw comes down, the Power Stone comes down into Scar is not bad, and then Space Stone coming down, drawing them cards, and then into Coal Obsidian, also not bad, my friend. So it's a 50-50 between Magneto and Vision. I almost envision us doing something like this. The only problem is we go first. So maybe it's Red Hulk, Mjolnir rotation, Wasp rotation. We're hoping for either a big card to the right, a double trigger of Mjolnir, something along those lines to find our way to win. Because otherwise we're worried about maybe a Shang-Chi play, but this is what we're going to send. It pushes a large amount of power to the left, a potential amount into mid depending on what they play there. It could be Shang-Chi and then it just takes out our Thor. And so Vision of Excellence, Wasp rotation into Magneto is going to pull their whole stack over to the right lane with the Nocturne, the Hope Summers, the Coal Obsidian. And so Lockjaw does stay, so that does rotate. They have a chance to win there. Time Stone. Time Stone's not going to do it. Mockingbird in the left is not going to do it. And we get the good old casserole. I mean, it could have swung either way. And that's the thing with Lockjaw, is that it could get really crazy really fast. You can get some really big high rolls like that. And we will gladly take that when we can. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Wibble. Hopefully they will wibble wobble some cubes our way. So Muir Island is really good for something like Beta Ray Bill. I almost want to go ahead and play Wasp there, because we don't know if we're going to draw Lockjaw. We don't know. That would be the only reason we would hold on to Wasp. And so if we may not drop Lockjaw, I don't think there's a reason to hold on to the Wasp. We get Vision and Bar Sinister, so that's going to be a good turn 5 play. I think Thor into the right lane, Beta Ray Bill into Muir Island, and then Vision into Bar Sinister. That's the tentative line. We do draw Lockjaw, which is a little unfortunate, but also not awful either. Let's go Thor. Beta Ray Bill in the left lane is going to scale much better. Ooh, the Cosmo is unfortunate. Let's go Beta Ray to the left, see if they block that one as well. You jerk. The Armor Cosmo, from what they've played, it looks like an ongoing deck. So maybe they have like a Hazmat and an Ajax in an ongoing build. Could potentially be a thing. Nightcrawler, okay. And then Zero. No, it just looks like maybe a Shuri deck. Are they Shuri they want to do that? Let's quadruple up on our Vision here. And then we have the big Red Hulk we can use. We have a decent amount of power that we can play, even if we don't end up drawing into our one hammer that got shuffled in. Courtesy of the old bestest of boys, Cosmo. The new bestest of boys is coming into town with Lockjaw. And so let's see what they end up playing here. It is zeroed out. So the Sasquatch. Sasquatch comes down. We have to play something more than 12 power there on turn 6. We can always do Magneto. Quadruple up on our Magneto play. And then we have the Visions that are pressing power into these other locations. Let's see what we end up drawing. We could always do like a Red Hulk and only need to have space for 2 of them potentially. And if we're going that route, we might as well go that route, right? We might as well quadruple up on our Red Hulk instead of Magneto. And so let's go ahead and send it. I think that's a large amount of power. A Taskmaster is not going to be able to keep up with how much power we're spreading. The visions over to the right isn't going to be able to keep up. So I can't see a Legion. Legion could maybe steal away Bar Sinister so we don't have that as an automatic win. But they go Scar in the left. They go, wow, big power play in the Mockingbird and call Obsidian to the right. But luckily for us, we are able to hold down enough extra power in the left with our visions that we are going to be able to scale higher than they can. Our Red Hulk comes down in mid. We will take the 2 cubes. What a beautiful way that those cards fell. They were able to do the Sasquatch into the really big power plays of Scar, Call Obsidian, Mockingbird, but we will gladly take it. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Goshu. The first location is Dark Dimension. We have Spider-Ham. We don't have any of our free rotation tools. We may just play Spider-Ham outright, depending on what we draw into and what it looks like. Kamar Taj is great for our Hammer Bros. I almost want to go ahead and... let's go ahead and do it. We're going to go ahead and send the Spider-Ham out. He's going to just frolic amongst himself. We can hide a Lockjaw. We hit something of 8 power, but I missed what it actually was. A little unfortunate. It's even worse when I play on mobile, because I'll lock in my turn, start doing other things, look back, and I have no idea what I hit. So on turn 3, we can play our Lockjaw now. And so that opens up the possibility for Beta Ray on 4. They had Beta Ray, which we haven't drawn into. We're going to draw into it right now. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Ooh, look at that. We do have Beta into Jane Foster on turn 5, so we can scale higher, further, faster than what they can here. We should be able to. I almost want to snap into it, but at the same time, our Lockjaw is a little bit iffy. So 8 power, it had to be a vision, right? That's what I'm guessing. And so Nocturne comes in. If they rip away this left lane, that's fine. If they rip it away, I'm okay with Lockjaw revealing ahead of time. Because we're typically going to play our hammers into Kamar Taj. Because otherwise, I don't know that we can keep up. Let's go Jane Foster to the right. That way we're pressuring power over there. And these are going to be some kind of silly numbers. So I kind of want to stick it out and see. White Palace is going to give them our something. It gives us their pig. And so Odin. Odin is what we ended up hitting. They do have their vision still. They can at least still see. Because of White Palace, we're actually not going to be able to draw into all of our cards. Otherwise, we were going to get the Wasp as well. We don't have initiative, which is great. A gazillion triggers on a Beta Ray Bill. And honestly, maybe we rotate one of them. We have some great cards, minus the Wasp. Minus the Wasp, we have some great cards here. Dr. Doom would give us enough pressure. I think we're going to split the Stormbreakers because they didn't have Jane Foster. I think that's the main reason we're okay splitting them, because we're going to get at least 3 triggers here. And so Yellow Jacket in the left, not great for them. Stormbreaker, and then Odin. I'm a little confused why they Odin the Yellow Jacket, but okay, that's fine. We have the gazillion triggers of the Stormbreaker here, the extra one to the left. Whatever we rotate into will be fine. Dr. Doom, just icing on the cake. And then the big Red Hulk to the right, we will take it. And I did initially try something a little more all-in with the Yellow Jacket, but it just felt more times than not that it hindered my overall game plan versus being able to enable it with an additional rotation tool. And so we're going to go ahead and jump out of this one and into the next. All right, next up we have Gnome, and I was trying to think of a joke between like Gnome and not, but I can't think of one. Gnome still swindled 4 cubes from us earlier, and we want them back. We're out for blood, Gnome. We're not upset with you. We just want our cubes back. And so the first location, Collapse Mine. Both of us skip. The second one, Fisk Tower. We do have Thor, Beta, and then we'll see from there. But we have Odin as well to potentially like double up on those stacks. A Jane Foster would be great. But let's go Thor in mid for now. We have Jubilee if we want to just like Hail Mary it. We can play that into the Lockjaw lane. Potentially that plus a Spider Ham could be a good double rotation on 5, maybe 6. So Nico, they Nico the Carnage, and it turns into the Demon, and we'll see what else they have. And so I think we go ahead and we're going to go ahead and push Beta Ray over to the right. We have several ways to trigger more than one time our hammers, or our either of the hammers, I guess. Jane Foster top deck whenever we have so many zero cost cards is crazy. The only bad thing here is we don't guarantee pull into both of our hammers. Fine. It's fine, right? I'm not worried, you are. So we have a chance to pull into Wasp. And with our incredibly high curve, we may not be able to pull into everything we need to. And so Mockingbird over to the right is big, but it's not a... Oh no. Oh no. All right, so with that in mind, we have Doctor Doom and Vision and Spider-Ham left in our deck. Do we ever full send rotation? We can hit Doctor Doom to spread out. I don't think that's a great chance. But at the same time, I don't think it's awful. Because we could also just go something simple like Mjolnir Red Hulk. And hope that that was enough. Magneto's not going to hit anything. Odin. This is our line. We're going to switch it over to the right and then call it good. So Scar comes down. We're going to need a lot of assistance here. Mjolnir, we need Doctor Doom and a Mjolnir, I think. No, we just need one or the other. Doctor Doom, Stormbreaker. So we win right. We need, it's a 1 out of 2. It's a 50-50 between, no, that's not it. We needed Doc Ock. Goodness, I can't speak. We needed Doctor Doom or Mjolnir on that second rotation, and we could have won. We had the means to win in that middle lane. We just didn't quite get the good rotation. That one hurts, but that's going to be the nature of this deck. So Gnome, you now owe us 8 cubes. We're coming for them later, but that's going to be the nature of this deck, is that there are times where you're going to rotate and it's not going to be good, but doubling up on the cubes, just looking at it statistically, doubling up on the cubes, a 50-50 chance to win, I'm going to take that risk every single time of being able to rotate into one of those big cards that you need. We didn't hit it this time. Maybe we will next time. We're going to go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have La Quitter. The first location is Hellfire Club. They play Nightcrawler to the left. Let's go ahead and skip on 2. We have Thor. Ooh, a Hydra Bob Enjoyer. That 5 base power is a beauty. Still think he's underwhelming, but nice to see a little bump regardless. So we can always use this as a way to push Hydra Bob out on the last turn. They lose 10 power, which I think is kind of funny. But let's go, I think we go ahead and play our Lockjaw out. Maybe it's a Lockjaw Wasp rotation already. Or I think we go Lockjaw Wasp rotation. And I almost want to snap now. We have a rotation coming down from Lockjaw on 3 and some huge potential hits for it. But I also want to save it as a way to move Hydra Bob potentially later on. So into the Jubilee, into Beta Ray Bill on 3 as well. We just need the Jane Foster. We will be sitting ready. We can go ahead. Let's go ahead and play Wasp. And then I'm going to play Thor out to the right. We're going to rotate out of Wasp, potentially into Stormbreaker, potentially into like Vision, Jane Foster. Spider-Ham or Stormbreaker would be the worst. The other ones are fantastic. But they have Shanna coming down into Black Knight Bast, which is not the Bast card that is going to impact their hand, especially after Gwynpool came down. and then we rotate into Red Holt, and so it's going to be looking really strong going to those last couple turns. That left lane is going to be susceptible to that Shang-Chi play, but otherwise I think we're okay. The only bad thing here is that we don't have a great finishing play. And so we're going to go ahead and play Spider-Ham to the right. We get the Gilgamesh, which is great, into Stormbreaker, which is also great. That gives us a couple of potential ways to win. Had we played Spider-Ham here, maybe we could have pushed out, but I think they'll play something here and maybe here. But I am willing to put it in for the additional 2. Gilgamesh was a great hit. I think taking away their ability to win the left lane as a result. We'll see. And so Khazar in the right, and then Iceman in mid. They didn't need to compete for mid. It all comes down to if we overpower them in the right. I think it's actually a tie, which, no, not a tie. We go Magneto. We go over the top of them by 2. If it was a tiebreaker, they absolutely slaughter us with that middle lane power. But as is, we will gladly take it. And that is where we're going to go ahead and end the video. Thank you guys, as always, for being here. As always, this has been TLSG. Later, guys.